Hello, this is Keith Stanley, President and CEO of University City Partners. It is an honor and privilege to be with somebody who has partnered with University City Partners for a number of years, making this community, this beautiful lake in this area, just vibrant and successful. There's a lot of history here. We're going to get talk to them about it, but let me introduce to some and what's the word they use, Sean? Introduce to some and announce to others the one and only Sean Costner of Third Rock Events.
Thank you, Keith.
Oh, bring it on in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sean, I got here a little bit over or close to 3 years ago. You were one of the first people that had a chance to meet. You talked about this history of events, signature events of success around the lake, what has occurred with this community. Can you tell, before we get into some of the history, just tell people who you are and your role in this success around University City?
Yeah, so thank you for the nice introduction. But again, Sean with Third Rock Events. We are a local event and media production company. We have been doing events here in University City now 10 plus years.
Wow.
So we've seen a lot of success, a lot of growth. Things are changing for the positive. So we're very happy to be a part of it.
So much growth in University City. We talk about the 3.4 million visitors. We talk about the addition of between 2,000 to 3,000 residential units. We talk about the over 4,700 businesses in the University City trade area. So you've seen a lot of this success, but let's talk about how it started. How did you get involved with University City?
Yeah, I grew up in a place that had a lot of festivals, that had a kids festival, that had wine festivals and performing arts festivals. And I moved to Charlotte now, I guess 20 years ago, and there was not a lot of those. It just wasn't happening. I think there was like one wine fest, and it was in the fall out in South Park. And so I had reached out to several different organizations about like, hey, there's an opportunity, there's programming gaps here for quality of life. And I met with Darlene Heater, who ran your organization for a while, and she said, what's missing? I'm like, a kids festival, a spring wine fest, and a performing arts fest. She's like, well, we'll do at least 2 of the 3, and let's move forward. And that's how it started.
So you have been involved with our industry calls, for those who are familiar with municipal service district and business improvement districts, with the connectivity, or even better yet, the stickiness of a community. That is bringing people together to not just go to the stores, to live here, to work here, but to actually enjoy this environment. It's placemaking, 101. We have these signature events here around the lake that we're going to get into: Kids Fest, Wine Fest. We also have the 5K. The list goes on. For you, I'm going to take it a little bit differently here. It seems like you have a passion for it. Where does that passion come from?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, like I am a community advocate, and a lot of people get to have personal experiences at these events that they may not have been able to have otherwise, as a lot of these events are free. And we tap into based on the event and what's happening, there's opportunities for local artists to perform or to sell their art. There is opportunities for, musicians, and for small businesses, small businesses that may be just starting, that don't have a storefront, but they attend these events, they're able to sell their goods, raise funds, and eventually open a retail space.
That's it. And I think for us, this is important. So let's talk about some of these events and some of their impact. So whenever you're watching or listening to this, you'll be able to know that these events are occurring every year so you can attend. At the top of the year, we usually have New Year's Day 5K, which you're involved with. And then we go into what's spring. What do we have for spring?
So it goes right from New Year's Day 5K into the University City Wine Festival.
University City Wine Fest.
Yeah.
We then get into Juneteenth, which is absolutely an amazing event with a lot of art and activation. Kids Fest.
Yep.
And then UCity Lights. I'm missing a couple others, though. What am I missing? I know I put you on the spot.
Okay.
I put them on the spot.
No, that's pretty good for memorizing them. Not only are there like these signature events, but what we're seeing in this place is other events who are happening in different places of Charlotte who are now wanting to move to the lake. So last year we welcomed 3 new events that are not, owned by University Partners, but that were happening in other places of the city, and they have moved to University City. And one of them is quoted, "This is the first time since I've started this festival that we actually feel supported." And that's the difference of having your event here. It's a beautiful space, but it comes with a lot of passion and community around it. And we are going this year and really putting the word out for other festivals to come here.
What's exciting as I look at every year since I've been here, we not only have worked with some amazing partners and funders and sponsors to make these events special, we are seeing these events grow by 30, 40, and 50%. The exciting one for me, I talked about Juneteenth earlier. Our Juneteenth Art Fest happens, one of the few events that happens on June 19th in the city of Charlotte, is that event grew. We had 3,000 or 4,000 the first year. I think it went to 12,000 this year. I'm not even how many we're going to expect this year. But the same thing for UCity Lights. The same thing for Kids Fest. What do you think is resonating with people who are attending our events and the growth of the attendance of these events?
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, and I have not seen those kind of growth numbers in other parts of the country or even other parts of Charlotte. So being able to look at that data is very impressive. But there's a difference that you may not find elsewhere, is like we actually care about the event and care about the user experience. And, it's from how the event is laid out, how it's communicated, how it's accessible to all income levels, and how people are proud that this is happening in University City. We have super fans. We have people who have never missed a wine fest. That is like long-term growth strategy and creating these raving fans.
You also mentioned something earlier. We are excited. We partner with the mayor of the city of Charlotte, Mayor Vilaus, for our UCity Lights, and she reiterated this, which we see as so valuable, which is the majority of our events are free. And I like that because as you look throughout our country and the environment we're going in, anytime most people are leaving the house, they're spending a couple $100s just to leave the house, to go eat, to go anywhere. There was a time in this country where you can go somewhere, you didn't have to spend a dime, but you can enjoy community. Why do you think having these events and having them for free are important to our community?
I mean, you want people to be able to enjoy the place where they live, and you want them to be able to bring everyone that they know and everyone who's in their house. And so making that the Kids Fest is free, the activities are free, the face painting's free. I mean, a large portion of that is underwritten by your organization, but also other sponsors like a Walmart or an Atrium Health. So,
shout out to the Art Science Council.
Yes.
Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. We cannot do these events without anchors like Walmart and others, and AT&T and Arts and Science Council.
Yeah, I mean, so when when folks come to these events, they're there to have a good time. They may not actually be thinking like, oh my goodness, all this is free. I bet it's very expensive to produce. But it's the corporate and smaller businesses who do the heavy lifting and pay for everything that happens.
Now, I have to admit, Sean, I probably get on your nerves all day long. I'm calling you with ideas and like that. But I will say there's a secret sauce with Third Rock. And I know it starts with you as a leader. You're passionate. You live in University City. You live and breathe. You and I, we talk all the time, restaurants and places and spaces in University City. Can you also articulate what else beyond your passion and drive is the secret behind the success of Third Rock, specifically in University City?
We often say, this is produced for you by us, and that's a model that we live by because we're doing the things for what the community asks for, what they want, what they support. So we produce it for the community, and when we're behind the scenes doing it for them. And that really is the motto that we've stuck with. And we are here to create an experience that our competitors don't have the ability to do. And when people think of us, we hope that they say, we want to become the most beloved event and media production company in Charlotte and elsewhere. Yes. And those are part of our mission statements, part of our work. And there's passion. There's a lot of great people on the team that have been here for quite some time. And we have been lucky enough to have been recognized multiple times over by various organizations. Like coming up, the library is giving us an award soon. So that is, secret sauce. I think it's just the passion and sticking to the core values and moving things forward.
If you can, I'm gonna flip the question though, and hopefully you get where I'm going here. What do you think is the secret sauce for University City? It seems like there is something here that brings
Yes.
people to this community, and engage in this community? And yes, it's people, yes, it's places, but I want to hear from you. What do you think? What brings people together here in University City?
Well, we have talked about this before offline, but I grew up in a place that had a designated programming area in their downtown, right? Everybody knew most major events or most annual events, this is where it was happening. And we just don't have that here in our, core of the city. However, in University City, there is this lake, and the Shops at University Place that people say, oh my goodness, I took my prom picture there, or I got engaged at UCity Lights there, which has happened. So there's this nostalgia for this space. Or I went to the university, I used to walk over to the lake. So this is transforming into what we see in the next few years is going to be known as, okay, if this event is happening, it's most likely happening here, and this becomes a designated event space that is in Charlotte. And it's this lake, but also just the community. It's a very diverse community. You can get online, you can research the diversity of University City. So when people think of this area, some people call it the boardwalk. I mean, there's multiple names what they call this this place, but this is going to be, it's already starting, but we're going to see it grow is where this becomes the anchor place where major events happen in Charlotte.
Well, I just want to make a few comments to what you've shared, and I will say, what's really heartwarming for me, Sean, is that when I am going around the lake, to hear so many different diverse languages, and hearing Spanish and the different Indian languages and just the other various languages, there's something to me so unique because it's a city that is welcoming and accepts everybody. The other thing that warms my heart is that around the spring season, you will see people, families with their children who are having dinner at Boardwalk Billy's with their cap and gowns on.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these are first generation people and folks who are just getting to experience this life. And it's heartwarming to me because we're creating a space where people, as you mentioned, can feel those experiences and touch those experiences. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Now, next question I have for you that I think is really important to ask, but I want to be mindful not to get your trade secrets to be out in the open like this. So I will say, if you're listening or watching, make sure that you either put in the comments or you send an email out to us. We want to hear what you would like to see in University City. What events, what programmings, what ideas would you like to see in University City? But Sean, I'm going to ask you that question. And once again, we don't want to get too deep into it, but if there was an event that you could snap your fingers and add to our roster of events here in University City, is there anything kind of cool or unique or exciting that you would say this is something that we want to see in University City?
I mean, I have like a wish list, there's all kinds of things that we could add.
Give us just one.
Yeah,
Give us just one.
I know that a lot of different organizations have taken a stab at like a really robust, all-encompassing performing arts festival. That is something that we have some framework already existing that we could really lean into. Also, there's really cool things that we could do to activate the lake, from, lanterns festival to the little speedboat race model boats around the lake. Like, there's all these things that we could do. And we really look at what is not happening, right? It kind of goes back, there was no Kids Fest, there was no Spring Wine Fest. Well, one of the cool things about University Wine Fest, it's multiple days, it's different experiences. But as far as we can tell, this is the only place that has a wine on the water event where people can come out on a Friday evening, taste some wines, pick their favorite, get into a paddle boat with their plus one. There's a live musician on the bridge. It's very romantic, but it's also just really cool because we're looking for things that no one else does, and we're doing them here.
That's it. We're about to wrap this up. Sean, what advice would you give to people who are interested in coming to the lake with their event? What would you tell them?
I mean, I will tell them what we've been told by people who have already done that. They've never been more supported. So you have your current venue and you've been thinking about where your event's going to go next. when you bring that event here, you're going to get the same type of service that we put into your own events.
That's right.
And you're going to have a very, very pleasant and different experience when you move to the lake at University City.
Any hopes and dreams outside of activation? Any hopes and dreams for University City in the area around the lake here? Any hopes and dreams?
Oh, of course. I know that you've been talking about this rendering of how we can really activate the lake and make it, see all new lighting and new places for performers and, new development and having that 1, 2, 5, 10-year plan. That's very, very exciting because this lake has been through a lot of transitions like any other place. And right now we're around the edge. We want to see really cool stuff come here. And we want to be able to do really cool activation, like with the colors and the experience of this place has history, but now everybody can be proud of it too.
Exactly. And I will say for those who are listening or watching, for us, we're excited about this lake because really it is our downtown. And we have over 185,000 people here in University City's trade area. And this is where people come to enjoy themselves. My first few years here, I interviewed a number of folks. They got married here. They had their prom here. They met their significant other here. And so I think this really place is a place where people really, it's a community. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And I also want to take this time to personally thank Sean and Third Rock. They have been an amazing partner. We actually presented them with an award in the pre-record of this, so you'll see that on your screen. But Sean has been an amazing partner, very passionate, taking calls after hours and working to make sure our events are such a success. And I just want to thank you, Sean, and I make sure I want to include the entire team. You have some amazing folks on the team who are dedicated to the vision, dedicated to the dream, and most importantly, from my perspective, dedicated to University City. So I just want to thank you for that. Amazing work.
Thank you, Keith.
Speech. With that said, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you learned something out of this. We're going to continue to have our events. I ask you to follow us on all our social media platforms, but also sign up for our newsletter. Learn how you can get involved. Thousands upon thousands of people are coming to University City right around this lake to enjoy themselves and have a good time. And so we'll make sure you get that information. With that said, I am out and see you later, University City.
University City.